Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Brothers Take podcast, a podcast where nerdy brothers get together each and every week, usually to talk gaming. And in this week's episode, we're going to be doing just that. My name is Chris. I am joined by my brothers Eric
Hello.
and Adam, who
Hello.
is back in the room this week to talk about James Bond 007 First Light. Our probably the episode that has the most engagement ever on our entire podcast. It was when we ranked all of the James Bond movies. I still get comments there, like they still come in. I think there was one the other day that was like, "I respect opinions, but my God, yous are wrong." You know, something like that. I love that. I was like, well, sure, give us your rankings. Let's go. But so when a James Bond game is on the way, it just feels really fitting to like, okay, let's get the whole band back in the room, because this is it's special. But is it what we want? Is it what we want? That's what we're going to be talking about. Obviously, this is based on the preview that came out by the time you're listening to this last week. It was September 3rd, PlayStation State of Play. We got an extended look, like a half hour worth of gameplay to look at from IO Interactive, looking at the new James Bond game, First Light, and also the release date, March 26th of next year. 26th, 27th? No, March 27th of next year. And obviously, we never want our conversation to be just one-sided. We want to hear from you guys too. So if you're watching YouTube, make sure you jump down into the comments to give us your take on 007 First Light, what you thought of the preview, what you'd like to see more of, what you think of what we bring up throughout the discussion. If you enjoy this, give us a thumbs up, hit subscribe, ring the notification bell for future content. And to those who listen to us on audio platforms, you can also touch base on social media, Facebook, Instagram, and X at The Brothers Take again to give your take on everything we bring up in this week's episode. But without further ado, let's talk Bond. James Bond. First of all, an Irish guy is playing him. That's kind of cool.
Not the first time? No.
Not the first time, and it won't be the last. Mark our words. But I was also like, yeah, during any of the like voice acting parts, I was like, that sounds like someone who's putting on an English accent. And then when I heard the actual accent of the guy, I was like, that's why. No, he's not doing a bad job, right? But it didn't sound natural. It didn't sound like someone's natural voice. To me, I don't know how you felt about
Yeah, I think
the
the
voice.
first time he spoke in the showcase, I wasn't too hot on it, but it grew on me. It grew on me as he talked more.
Took a little bit of warming up to.
Yeah. I suppose I just so used to Daniel Craig's
At
James
this
Bond voice.
point,
Yeah.
right?
So it's kind of like if I hear James Bond, it's like I'm gonna think of that voice first.
Well, it's like no matter what now, whoever they announce as the next James Bond like live action, I mean everyone's going to give out first before anyone actually says, yeah, I like this choice. In the same way as like when any other Bond actor was ever announced, it was always like, are you crazy? That guy can't be Bond, you know. And then after the movie, they go, best Bond we've ever had since Connery, you know. And they said about every single one of them, pretty much, you
Yeah.
know. Bar George, maybe. Poor George.
I think more wasn't more kind of when that was announced, everyone's like, yeah,
Right,
because
wasn't he? He
because he
was in
did
a
Saint.
show, right? The Saint, yeah. So he
Yeah,
was in something where they were kind of able to say, "I see it," I see
yeah,
it based on another role. I suppose if they'd never done a role in any way similar, that's where people go, "I just can't see it," you know. And it's like,
yeah.
okay, well, give him a chance, give him a chance. But anyway, it's speaking of giving a chance. How we feeling about this new James Bond game? Are we willing to give that a chance, or just how do we feel about the preview overall? And Adam, because you haven't been on the podcast in a minute, I'd love
Mm.
to come to you first to hear your thoughts. And like, feel free to start wherever you want, whether it's a case of like, I want to start from the start, or whether you're like, I just want to give my overall impressions or my feelings before I saw it versus my feelings after. I don't know what way you want to go about it, but
Well, we saw the announcement of Bond a while back, and I think the initial kind of look of it, I wasn't sure about. It just there's something about it that just wasn't. It just doesn't kind of feel like Bond actually. Like the character design, the overall look, kind of everything about it actually just doesn't feel like Bond. And seeing this uh showcase, it doesn't change my opinion on that. I think it does look like a good game.
Mm-hmm.
The the gameplay looks phenomenal from the combat. Whether it's the shooting or the hand-to-hand combat, that looks really, really good. But there's just something about it still that just doesn't feel like it's Bond. Uh, and occasionally, like obviously, it has the Bond music, and that kind of brings it in a little bit.
Yeah, yeah,
Mm.
yeah.
But it just feels a bit strange that because his character design, he has like the scar, which is like a book touch. So I thought they were going to be like going all in on this is going to be the book rendition of Bond, not the cinematic universe Bond. But then they're using the music from the films.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like this strange mishmash. It's like nothing about this looks like the cinematic Bond.
Yeah, yeah.
It may be in touch with the books. I actually haven't read the book, so I don't really know how accurate it is to the book Bond,
Mm-hmm.
but it doesn't feel like the cinematic Bond at all. It looks like a great Mission Impossible game.
Okay, interesting.
Interesting,
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
interesting.
okay,
And
yeah.
you do hear them two kind of being put up against each other a little bit, the Mission Impossible series with the Bond series.
Mm.
I've heard that
And
from a few
I
people. Yeah,
I would never ever 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 put those two together.
yeah,
Because although there may be slight similarities,
yes,
um there's a total different feel
yeah,
to those two series. Like Bond is a character study on an action adventure. Mission Impossible is like a I don't know, like a heist is a heist movie. And Bond's not a heist movie. Although there might be heist moments,
hmm
Bond's never about the heist. Bond is about this character who is a little bit off the rails and will kind of do anything just to win. He kind of
yeah.
doesn't care about how he goes about that as long as he wins. And I don't know whether he's doing it for, I don't know who he's doing it for. It's probably just for him, actually.
Hmm.
Like he's trying to prove something to himself. I don't know. The dude is deeply troubled. I don't get any of that from this presentation.
Yeah, it's hard to right. Okay, so in a 30-minute, thing that's obviously taken from a much bigger story,
Mm,
it can be hard to know, okay, to what extent. Well, what I did get was there was which is where like I kind of sat up more in the preview, the combat section, right?
yeah.
First of all, I thought it was lovely. The first shot was in a pipe, so it was like the gun barrel thing, and I was like, that's a really nice touch. And then the license to kill came up. It's like, so now you can go guns blazing, and that whole sequence felt a little bit like, okay, maybe like up in scale a little bit because it's a video game, but it kind of felt like the opening to Tomorrow Never Dies or something like that, like a real
Hmm.
get to the plane, shoot everyone on the way kind of thing. But there was a sense of improvisation, and I saw that in the combat as well. So it's a Bond just. So I did get that sense of just get the job done by any means necessary. If that means blowing up this airport, then I will blow up this airport. If it means picking up a pool ball and throwing it at someone's face, I will do. So I did get a sense of that. That's not to say that I loved everything in the preview, and I think it started very weak and it was
Hmm.
very slow to get going. I would have cut out that whole initial drive.
Hmm.
I thought it was such a weird
Mm.
opening to the preview where it was like, this is going on quite a long time and the conversation is not interesting. So, like, this is probably more interesting if you have the context that has come before and you're playing it. It's in your hands, right?
Perhaps, yeah, yeah.
Probably more engaging than watching it. Versus had they started this with he's already in the car park, he sees the suspicious thing and he goes off and does the thing, and you go from there. I think there's enough from there onwards to be like, okay, I'm getting the game, I understand. There's got to be, multiple choice in terms of how you want to go about entering the place. And I do get that Mission Impossible comparison. Um, it's interesting that I've heard you're right. I've heard a few people say like a Mission Impossible or a Bond thing, and you're like, I also don't like. If you had said like Mission Impossible and Jason Bourne, yeah, maybe I
Maybe.
could see them a bit closer. And again, if you had said Bond and Jason Bourne, I'm like, just because they're both spies, it's a very different. Strangely enough, if you said Bond and Indiana Jones, I think that's closer as a comparison, even though
Yeah,
they
because
are not the
it's about the
same.
person.
Yeah, it's like this is an iconic character in a stylized world,
Yeah.
as opposed to this is sort of a and not all elements of Mission Impossible, of course, especially in the newer movies, but a like we want to ground this in our world, some of the
Yeah.
and certainly Bourne is a little bit more grounded that way. But yeah, so I think the preview really picks up later in the preview and starts to feel a little bit more, certainly have moments of that look that feels like something out of a Bond movie but escalated.
Hmm.
But the start was a really poor start. So then everyone's on the back foot a little bit, trying to get in. I don't know. Eric, what did you think
Uh,
overall?
Actually, I didn't mind the start too much, but I do know it's not in the case of I think it was the best start ever. I do know what you mean. Yeah, if they had
Mm.
started with him in the car park, like there would have been nothing wrong with that. Um, but I think it was because I was looking at it going, okay, they're giving us a moment to look at the graphics and the environment
Okay, yeah.
before we start looking at the gameplay. I suppose maybe that's what they were thinking. But again, we could see graphics if they had just started in the middle of gameplay. We would have been able to look at that stuff. Yeah, I suppose maybe they were trying to like establish banter with the characters and like show off James Bond's kind of sarcastic swabbiness as well as showing off that he's not the center of this mission right now. He's the getaway driver.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Maybe that's what they're trying to do. I don't know, but like again, you can find out when you're actually playing the game. But when it comes to actual gameplay, it is because we talked about this at the first announcement ever, and I was like, oh, it's probably going to be a lot like Hitman, but just with better combat.
Yeah.
And it's Hitman with better combat.
Yeah, yeah,
That is what
yeah.
it is like. I yeah, I really liked it. I do think though. So at first I wasn't a fan of the voice. It kind of grew on me and stuff like that. But actually I was kind of thinking the scar, even though it's book accurate, is like, oh yeah, Ian, you did an issue there with giving this spy who's supposed to be able to blend into the environment a very distinctive feature.
Right, right, yeah,
Because
yeah.
it means if Bond, especially nowadays, if Bond ever does anything,
Very
it's like, oh,
identifiable.
yeah, it's the guy with the scar on his face. Because how many people at a Met Gala are going to have a scar on their face? I was
Yeah,
like,
that's true,
that
yeah.
actually, maybe they should have, I don't know, put makeup or something to cover up the scar. Might be an idea, but if he's going to be blended into environment,
But he's only the getaway driver. He's not even supposed to be in that
no,
Met Gala. Yeah.
but
I
at
know what you
other
mean.
events, like they should
Yeah.
later showcase him pretending to be a guy with a photographer, the photographer.
Oh, yes, yeah. Yeah.
If he's bluffing his way through and it's like, oh, my photographer's gone. Oh, what does he look like? Oh, he's dark hair. He's got a scar on his cheek.
Yeah,
It's like, all right.
Does seem like an unnecessary addition, actually, to this character design, doesn't it?
yeah.
I remember being a bit off-putted by it the first time I saw the scar. Though I never knew about him having the scar in the books.
Yeah, it's. I mean, it's
looked a bit weird.
obviously a love letter to the novels, and then it's their way of saying, well, this will distinguish us from any of the live action Bonds so far. But you raise a good point, Eric, in terms of just like I think when you think about Bond in the novels and the era in which he's in, you're kind of like it's kind of different. Most people of that time, and his age will have had some experience with the war.
Right, yeah.
And in his era and like where he's from and that there's going to be plenty of people with scars and features and it's actually normal, whereas yeah, in a modern contemporary setting you're kind of right, it's like, well, you've definitely been in some kind of fight, like and not that maybe he was attacked and he's a perfectly innocent person but you're right, it's a very distinguishable feature to be like, what does the guy look like? Well, yeah, he's got a scar, so keep an eye out for the guy with the scar in the in the Met Gala. Yeah, yeah, that's really funny. But yeah, it's yeah, I think it comes from I'm trying to remember, is it directly described in the book or is it based on Ian Fleming once did a like a drawing of what he pictured Bond to look like? And I remember seeing the drawing. I always actually thought that now, bar the scar, of all the actors to have played him, I always thought from the drawing that Timothy Dalton actually looked the closest to the drawing, but like not a 1-for-1 or anything. And
Hmm.
some people will go, I don't see it, but to me, he looked the closest to Fleming's Bond. I'm not mad on the quiffy hair. The like the yup bro look, you know. I'm not mad on that.
I do, yeah, I do think the character design is a bit strange. Like I don't know what
Yeah.
it is. I can't put my finger on it. It's probably this really difficult thing to actually uh, kind of nail down as to why this doesn't quite feel like Bond. And it's just something about when you see each of the actors play the role. Um, there's just something about him where you're just kind of like, yeah, he's both charismatic and could fuck me up. Whereas I just don't see that. I don't
But
think this.
he's quite boyish. He's quite like if they get Tom Holland to play him.
Yeah. It's 100%. Look,
Well, yeah,
it even looks like Tom Holland.
that's they're
in some
they're going
degree.
for a young Bond thing, right? Like that's what
Yeah,
they're
and I
going for.
think I actually think that's a mistake. Now maybe the game will kind of play out and it'll make total sense when you play through it as to why they chose to do it that way.
Yeah.
But I actually do think it's a big mistake to go with a first mission, um, because you can't. It's like, all right, so you're going to be like building up this Bond character. Then it's a Bond that you can have grow, kind of like the Survivor trilogy for
Yeah.
Tomb Raider, right? So you can build the character up again. But then you run the risk of, you don't have that vast pool to draw from as well. You can build up to it, but you don't have that giant cinematic universe to pull from, whether it could be like reference or things like that. It's like I think back to like Arkham Asylum and how effective that was because of how it played with all of our knowledge of Batman. If you had it, and if you didn't have it, great, you're going to learn from it.
Hmm.
But it did such a great job of just showcasing, this is Batman at his prime, and he had all these things at his disposal.
Yeah, yeah.
And I just think that would work a bit better. There's something. It's more confident as a character too. If he goes in and he's just like already at his prime. And it's that whole I don't mean to the meme of like feeling like Bond, I
Yeah,
guess.
yeah. But
But
yeah,
I don't necessarily see that from this at all actually. It kind of feels a little bit like someone wanting to cosplay as Bond.
but I suppose, and in their marketing, isn't their goal that it's not be Bond, it's earn the number.
Yeah.
So they want you to become Bond over the course of the game, as opposed to from the beginning go, I'm Bond.
Yeah, but like
And I mean, I
compare
know
that.
obviously his name is Bond, but I mean the character of like
I
the
know, yeah.
007 mythos and all that, you know?
Like become the Tomb Raider. But like just compare that then to Casino.
Oh, I know. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. It's like you're already trying to pitch yourself against that and, Bond's first adventure. Which is just I don't think you're ever going to top that feeling of that like how it embodies that character so well and sets up for where he will end up going. Uh yeah, it's also he talks too much, I think. He talks way too much.
In which way, like with the one-liners and stuff, or
Yes, but he's vocalizing everything he's gonna do. As he's walking through, he's kind of just like constantly on the comms and he's just telling them, what he's going to be doing next. And it's just like, I just think he's too yappy. I don't, and when I think back to like when I was saying about Bond, just kind of, if you compare it to Casino, where he's running around chasing the dude, right? He's not like looking for a way. No, he walks through a wall. Like he doesn't think. He just fucking does.
he just does shit and
And
then gets in trouble for it
yeah,
because he's reckless, right? And I do think that this game is also going for a reckless, but it's kind of a different reckless. It's like a boyish, youthful recklessness. As opposed to what you're talking about, which is almost like a dangerous reckless, where it's like, to be honest, this guy, if we don't put a leash on him, he's just dangerous, like, you know?
yeah.
or if we don't try and get him to get his act together, like, and that's obviously a big theme of some of the other movies as well. Like in Quantum, M asks him we need you to come in and debrief because you've actually killed someone from Special Branch. Like,
Yeah.
we're not even sure if you know who you're after anymore.
But it's like, I mean,
you know?
pick any Bond in any era, and he's
Yeah.
gone through that at some point as well.
Yeah.
That's just a running theme, really.
Hmm.
And I think as well, I have always pictured Bond as a much older guy anyway, just because he is a commander of the Navy. I kind of imagine that requires a couple of years.
Yeah, he's Commander Bond first,
Yeah.
and then he goes into the 00.
Yeah.
that is true.
I just find that this guy just seems a bit.
Yeah. It is the same thing as if they cast a young actor to do a live action Bond. It's like, well, yeah, you do have to recognize that he's definitely 30s before he gets into 007 status. Like, you know what I mean? At youngest, he's in his 30s.
Like, maybe not in the book, again.
A different time they would have started.
Yeah, wartime.
Younger. Yeah.
Because I know isn't Bond based off of a mission that Ian Fleming himself was involved in during World War II?
Yes,
I believe so. Yeah.
Yeah, so I do think there were much younger chaps involved in that operation.
God, yeah.
Ungentlemanly Warfare, was that the movie? It was based on the
Yeah.
Yes, yeah.
But I just don't know how well that translates today. I think it might take a couple of years.
Yeah. I've heard a lot of people say that this game, based on the preview what I've seen so far, is like Hitman meets Uncharted. That's what I've heard a lot of people say.
Yeah.
I thought that as well when I was watching it.
Yeah. You feeling that? Obviously, yeah. It's hard not to see. I mean, the Hitman comparison is obviously very clear because certainly there's gameplay elements from Hitman that are being pulled in here, which all look fun in their own right as well, And it's a really weird one. I was trying to pin down because I know what you mean, Adam, when you look at it and you go, like, that looks really good. Like, I'm not able to say
Yeah, it does look good.
Significantly wrong with any of it, actually.
Mm-hmm.
But I go, but why is it not definitively Bond, right?
Mm-hmm.
And when I look at like those sequences, it's like, it's not like Bond wouldn't do that stuff that they're showing. So actually, all of that is stuff Bond would do. You watch any of the movies, and he causes a disruption somewhere, so that the guards go look at it, and then he hops over the fence to get into the place, or he does bluff his way in. He says, "I'm a banker," or "I work for whoever," or so that kind of Hitman gameplay is stuff Bond does, right? And then obviously all the shooting and the fighting is all stuff Bond does, and the driving. Like, they do have all, like, if you list out the stuff that they have, you're like, yes, that is all stuff Bond would do. So why am I not saying that looks like, and it could be, again, if you play the full game, maybe you go, they nailed it,
Mm-hmm.
But just based on the preview, why do I not feel like it is a definitive Bond experience by the looks of it? I cannot put my finger on what exactly I think is missing.
I think because there have been games in the past trying to capture that Bond experience, that now it's very hard to it's not impossible, but it's hard to then make the definitive Bond experience, because you're like, but so many other games have done that in their own way that then it's impossible, that you are just kind of be like, well, that's kind of like that, and that's kind of like that, and therefore now it doesn't feel like definitive Bond. Now, again, it's not impossible, because when you get the Arkham series, no Batman game beforehand had that gameplay. You know what I mean? And it became a very definitive gameplay. So it is possible to do it, but I think there's just a lot of games that have tried to have that James Bond approach of cinematic combat, or having tactical espionage or whatnot, that you might go, oh, that's a bit like that.
And they have the gadgets, they have...
Yeah.
It's kind of unfortunate, isn't it, what Naughty Dog just did? They kind of just...
Yeah, right. Like Naughty Dog. I honestly, and maybe I'm wrong,
because they made the best Indiana Jones game, as well as possibly the best Bond game.
I think it's the look of it, actually.
I think it's the look of it.
I don't think it's the gameplay. I think there's nothing wrong with the gameplay. and I don't know what it is. There's something. I've said this since the beginning. Like I remember when the first trailer came on, I was like, oh, I don't know about this. And then the Honor of Majesty's Secret Service music came on, and I kind of went, okay, okay, that's cool. I like that. But I don't know if it's like everyone looks overexposed or it's too bright. Is it too bright? I don't like everyone looks super pale
Maybe.
or something. I don't know what it is, but the character models don't look right to me, and everything looks
Mm.
too bright. Um,
Yeah, I
and
definitely
that's
noticed something
putting me off. I
odd
don't.
about the proportions of their arms and the way the arms moved was a little bit weird looking. Uh,
Man, we're hard to please, are we? Eric's there going, I thought it looked fucking
Yeah.
great. What was wrong with you two?
honestly, yeah. And I do think, I do think actually, like if I was younger, actually, like if this was a game this is straight up like a game that I would have experienced, saw on like the PS3 360 era. It has all the spectacle of all of that. It's
Yeah,
got
yeah.
the mad explosions. It's very like the presentations of like Modern Warfare 2 or the
Yeah.
Tomb Raider games, or
Yes.
like it's got it all. Like and you looked at that and you went, that looks fucking awesome. But I'm wondering, is it because we've kind of played it already?
I don't know, but that shootout sequence was fucking awesome.
Yeah, I loved some of the things I really, really loved in it, and it actually did remind me of um, both Casino Royale and No Time to Die. Actually, was the gun combat. The way you can just like throw the gun at people,
I
Yeah.
loved that.
like
Yeah.
that is it was actually
Yes.
really, really good, and
And slide
the
over the car and stuff and
yeah,
y-
and even just like shooting out the vehicles as well, like
amazing.
the destruction that occurs, is that side of it is really, really phenomenal.
I loved all of that. I
Um,
was like, this is fucking deadly. I was like, I'll be honest, I was pretty bored for the whole preview, where I
yeah,
was like, but this is probably more fun to play, but watching someone else do it, I got that way that you get, Eric. Sometimes you look at it and go, no, go that way. That's not the way I want you to go. You're annoying me. I kind of got like that. But the entire and then even the car chase, I was like, this is going on way too long. This is way too
yeah,
long
not
and
very engaging actually, is
unexciting.
it?
I know, but I
Yeah,
bet if I was playing it, it probably is engaging. It's that thing of
maybe.
like you got to put it in my hands. But the entire shootout sequence, I was like, oh shit, this just escalated like crazy.
The
So
the
good.
bit at the end of the airport reminded me of Casino Royale and what is that movie? Fucking it's Timothy Dalton's first one,
Living Daylights.
Living Daylights.
Oh
When
Yeah,
yeah.
when he
yeah.
gets into the vehicle to go up to the airplanes, like, right, that's Casino Royale. Then get on the airplane and getting into the airplanes, like that's Living Daylights. So I actually liked him controlling the
Yeah,
airplane,
that reminded me
using
of
the gadgeting.
Arkham Knight.
Mm.
I was going to say Uncharted 3, but yeah,
I
sure,
thought
that
I
was
yeah, I don't know. I thought that bit was. I think that's another one where you have to have it in your hand, but that just
Mm.
looked a little bit
Well,
awkward.
what I mean by I like the look of it, as in I like the idea that
You
there
can
might be
do
a
it.
day, yes, I'm holding the controller and I can do that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Um,
very cool. And also
I'm
the entire free fall sequence, and then have to get a parachute and all. That's when you're like, okay, this feels like Bond. He's like he's gonna land non-phased. He's gonna like go,
yeah.
and take it off. You go, yeah, yeah, okay, okay. You got me a
However,
little bit. You got me.
we've seen it in
we've done it
Uncharted.
before.
That can't be helped though. You know what I mean? Like, and even
I
if they
kind of can actually.
But if they did a train sequence or a boat, any vehicle sequence, we'd all also go, yeah,
No, but like
Uncharted
when you
did it
think about it,
first,
right? When you think about it, like just think about even in the movie space, right? When they're
Mm,
making a new Bond movie and they're thinking about the gags, and there's so much of them been done before, but they always think about, well, what's a new way we can do it? And that just didn't feel like a new way to do it. That just was straight up like, because even Uncharted 3, we're like, that's the Living Daylights.
yeah,
But they did do it in such an interesting way that feels a little bit new and fresh and kind of unique to that experience. But I don't know about that whole, because the minute he falls out of the plane, it's like, oh, you have to get a parachute. It's like, well, I know how this is going to go, really, because we've seen it. We've seen it before.
yeah, but it was cool.
I would be a little bit concerned about
What do you've seen it or not?
the
You know the comments, by the way,
pacing.
for this whole thing, based on the movies that have been referenced so far, it's just gonna be, you guys are just Daniel Craig stans, like that's all you're gonna get.
We
They're like,
mentioned
Sure.
oh,
Living Daylights.
yeah, they're gonna be like, you've clearly only watched the new ones. No, we haven't. Go shite. Watch our ranking.
You,
Watch our.
you'll just know I'm not a Moore fan.
You'll know that he's not a Moore
the
fan, but all the rest of them get a pass pretty much.
yeah, pretty much, yeah.
I thought
Um,
the car stunt. There's a bit when you drive they
Oh,
drive
yeah.
Yes.
over a whatever the fact those trucks are called that carry cars, and there's always
Yeah.
a ramp. So therefore, when you see that, you go, well, obviously we're going to drive up that thingy.
That's GTA rules.
GTA
And
rules.
honestly, they should have had a little whistle in there.
Woo! Yeah.
It's not.
That
But
was
that
definitely
is-
a Man
that
of the
is
Golden
a
Gun
s-
reference, right?
That's
Yeah.
what I thought. Anyway,
Yeah.
yeah, for sure.
I think the game is
I-
going to be riddled with Easter eggs and references.
Yeah, maybe. I'd be a bit concerned with I like all of that stuff, right? The shooting and the hand to hand and stuff.
Yeah, deadly.
The pacing of it, very, very good.
Yeah.
Like you could feel the rush of it.
Yes.
And I think as you're playing it, those are the bits that you're going to be really, really excited about. And those bits are not really something in Hitman.
Yeah.
No, Hitman,
So-
you don't do combat.
Yeah.
Really.
So I think the bit where he's like trying to figure out, although it's kind of a bit like Assassin's Creed 2 in some ways.
Mm-hmm.
I think those bits are going to feel like they're really, really slow, and you want to get past. I think you're going to get very frustrated with those bits because of the exhilaration of the combat sequences.
I
That
think
you might just want to just go in guns blazing.
I think it'll depend on how often they actually are, you know?
Yeah.
And it depends on what way they pace the game in terms of how you break it up, and the different locations you go to. And will they inject like other things in it? Like, if you go to a snowy place, will there be a skiing mission? And, like what other things can they inject in here where you're not doing that so much to the point where you go, oh, this is like very repetitive. And it might feel more unique then,
I'm going to disappoint you on that one, Chris. I think this is going to be very similar to that. I think the game is called Blood Diamond. I can't remember, but it was during the Daniel Craig
It
era.
is Blood Diamond, yeah.
And
Oh, wait. Before you go any further, are you just a Daniel Craig stan? Oh, you did. Everything
I
you mentioned is
played fucking The World's Not Enough. Right? I played World's Not Enough on the PS1.
It was Tomorrow Never Dies. Go on.
Oh yeah. What was the other? There was another one with Pierce Brosnan on PS2. It wasn't World Not Enough though. It was
Everything or Nothing?
Oh yeah.
And Nightfire.
I don't remember that one. Anyway, so in that Daniel Craig Stan game, it was very just like you did driving and then you did combat, or you did combat and then driving. They were all very repetitive.
Yeah.
For this, I'm going to disappoint you. You're going to have to do your steaky moment.
Yeah.
Then you're going to do your shooty moment.
Yeah.
And then you're probably going to do a car moment. That's probably going to be every mission.
Well, I doubt it's going to be every mission, but I
I
consider
hear what
it's
you're saying. I hear
IO.
what you're saying.
They probably are going to have you try to infiltrate thingy. But I just think, and I think that's the moment where feels less Bond. I know you said like, oh, Bond does do these things. It's like, yeah, he does, but he's way more to the point.
Yeah, I
Like,
think
you
if you did
wouldn't-
it once or twice, you would feel okay. I do think that building a whole game around it is like,
Yeah.
it's like you've taken a feature of Bond, and it's almost like I remember like I saw like I've been playing Indiana Jones, right?
Mhm.
And a big part of Indiana Jones: The Great Circle is using a camera. Okay. And I'm like, it works fine and everything, and it's a way of like, but I was like, I think there's like one scene in one of the movies where he uses a camera, and it feels like they've put a lot of emphasis on that one scene, and I
Yeah.
kind of feel like that, like, yeah. So if Bond like distracted someone, he in Die Another Day or whatever, he he puts someone into a yoke of water, or he uses his car, he like pushes a button on it, and then the security go out to check what it is, and then he goes in. And it kind of feels like they've made a whole game of that, and it's like,
Yeah, and like I think
you know,
it would have been nice if it was a little bit, if it was things that were a bit more straight to the point. And what I would have dropped completely is the ability to scale. like
What?
going, that kind of because that's the bit where you're kind of like it's too close to like the Uncharted kind of thing is the kind of going up like a gibbon thing because even the way he moves is in it the is it's very like Uncharted. Um,
Yeah,
and I
but
don't think that's really nice. How many times have you really seen Bond scale a building like that? It's not often, and when he does, it's very slow.
no. The guys have done the research. They watched For Your Eyes Only. They were like, climbing is a big part of Bond's character.
Very slowly though, and with climbing gear. Um,
Yeah.
whereas he actually would have just like I don't know distracted someone and gone through the window or something. Like I think he's a little bit
I
more to the point.
Okay, I think you can enter that building in more ways than one,
Yeah,
and
they
so
were just
therefore you
showing
don't
you what
have to
they
scale
can
the height.
do.
No,
Because I
I
think
know.
I'm
Yeah.
assuming
Yeah.
you can go back to the car to get the key to show your man to go through the yoke. So if you are aware of that, you could probably look to the car and go, "Oh, there's my key card. I know that the guys at the front door want it from the showcase, so I'll get the key card. I'll go up, show them, and then I just walk in, and then there you go." They're obviously just showing you one way of doing it and how multiple ways of getting
Mm.
around to doing that. But
Yeah.
And I would imagine that the people who play this game, it will be a big discussion point. It's like, oh, how did you go about getting in there? It's like, oh, well, I actually did this thing. It's like, oh, I didn't know you could do that. That's fucking cool, you know.
and,
Like,
and then Adam goes, I just blew them up. I just
Yeah.
fucking
Yeah.
I punched the guy and walked right in. Yeah, but
But that's
like,
what he would do. He would kind of punch someone, right? Wrap him around
Yeah.
his arm, and then go, "Oh, he's had a bit much. Can I, and he would just go in. That's how he do it.
and that's how you'll do your bond, Adam. Everyone else wants to earn
If
the
they let you
number
do that.
differently with their options, you know. It
Would
is
be cool if they
impressive.
could.
It is impressive how many little things have been thought of, though. Where it's like, if you do this thing, a guard will go do that. If you do this thing, it will lead to that. Like, regardless of the IP, the actual like the system, like IO, it is impressive what they are able to pull off in terms of giving a player options and a little playground to work in. I wonder, will this game have the best in-game card game that you've played since Queen's Blood, Adam? You know, because there will be a card minigame. I'd be really surprised if there isn't, given that they added one to Hitman last year.
Okay.
Didn't they, Eric?
Did
As a
they,
free
Chris?
expansion, you could go to Casino Royale. Your target was Le Chiffre.
That's true.
They got Mads Mikkelsen back to play him.
Yeah.
And I think in the trailer they showed you could play poker at the table.
Oh yeah. So
And
yeah.
why would IO make that mini game apart from just teasing that we're doing Bond next, if it wasn't going to be in the James Bond game? So I assume at some point you'll be in a casino and you will get to play cards.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there should be a shark in the game at some point. That's all I'm saying. Once it has those two things.
Yeah. An entire water level. That's what we need.
Take us
It'll
right
be-
back to the PS1 era.
It'll be the slowest mission ever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The combat underwater has to be like
And yet you'll have to
slow.
guide someone as well, and they're not going to be helpful at all. And you just have to talk to them like, James, and you're like, oh, for fuck's sake.
Here I go
Christ.
again.
Yeah.
Eric, I think of the three of us, you're like the most interested in what we've seen. And,
Yeah.
But for
Well, I
good
suppose-
reason. You're also the only one out of the three of us. Like, so this has to be stated too, to be fair. You are the only one out of the three of us that has actually put a bit of time into the Hitman games. So you have a much better history with what IO are able to do and what it feels like to play those games. So, like, was this kind of based on that? Is this like everything you would have wanted from an IO take on James Bond, or?
IO take, sure, not necessarily what I would have wanted for a James Bond game, but I think it's hard to know what I want for a James Bond game
Yeah.
without seeing it.
You have
know
to
what I
show
mean?
it to me
But-
and see if I like it first.
Yeah. But I think with IO and the way they're doing it's exactly as I predicted. It was
Yeah.
going. So sure. I mean, I like them. They are certainly better when it's in your hands. Yes, watching the gameplay of those puzzle sections of how do I get in, how do I get close to that target, is boring to watch. But when it's in your hands, it's a little bit more interesting because you're a
Hmm.
little bit more analytical, analyzing.
Well, I think the combat is just so impressive looking. Like even when at the end they did the commentary and they were talking over and kind of giving you a better overview of the game actually than the preview. To be fair, like it's cool to watch an uncut comment or piece of gameplay with no commentary, right?
Hmm.
But the commentary afterwards, where they gave a kind of an overview of the game, kind of gave you a better sense, I thought, of the whole experience. And when he was fighting the guys in the room with the pool table, and like he smashed one guy off the pool table and it broke, and then they threw a pool ball at a guy's head, and he vaulted over the table to hit another guy, and I was like, yeah, that looks great. Like it looks like a
Mm.
guy who knows what he's doing while improvising in the moment as well. And yeah, that to me felt very like what combat in a James Bond game could look like actually. Um,
Kind of reminded me of like a slightly more offensive, violent version of Jackie Chan. Anyway, Jackie Chan's always using
oh
stuff in
yeah,
his
yeah,
environment to fight people off. But it's like if James Bond did it, it's way more violent and way more to the point. So I'd
yeah.
imagine you can pick up that pool cue as well and start whacking people and doing whatever you want.
I also liked the emphasis on picking up different guns and changing gun a lot, as
Mm.
opposed to collecting ammo more so. Like I really like the I'm gonna shoot a couple of guys, throw this gun, pick up the next gun, go, go, go.
Hmm.
Like again, that was like it looked choreographed, and when he hit the guy and fell down with him and used him to break his fall, like I was like, that looks like a fucking cutscene, but it wasn't. I was like,
Yeah,
that's really cool.
because I don't think they have anything like that in any other game, do they? So
No.
that's like huge development work. Like as your
Yeah.
first time to do it and make it feel really, really fluid. Like it almost feels like a more advanced version of, when you do, whether it's not the synergy attacks in God of War, but like when you do stuff in Uncharted 4 actually. Do you know sometimes it triggers something where like if you punch a guy you catch his gun, or
Hmm.
you like if you swing your
Yeah,
rope
yeah,
you land on him, but it's like the way the camera goes is really cinematic. It just feels like a little bit more of advanced version of that.
yeah.
It's really, really impressive that they were, able to do it and like land it really, really well as a kind of it seems like a first time approach. So I don't know if they have it in anything else. Uh, yeah, I would be a bit concerned with the infiltration side of things because apart from it's not that I don't want that in it.
No.
It almost felt like a generation behind, or maybe even two generations behind in terms of the way the NPCs interact, um, in comparison to how fluid and connected the combat is, the way everyone's moving in it and stuff.
Hmm.
But like trying to figure your way out, like when he goes over and turns on the water thing, and then the guy goes over to try and figure out how do I turn this off. It's like Assassin's
I
Creed
I
or
was thinking the same thing. It's like, why is it taking that guy
yeah, that
so
is.
long?
He hasn't a
He's looking
clue.
at it for he's we're gonna have to get a plumber here.
Yeah.
I've
But
never
now
seen one.
he's like stuck at that position now, and he's probably going to be there for a good 10 minutes so that you could sneak by. And it's just that side of it, I think, just felt like it slows the pace down.
Hmm.
Um, and I don't know how necessary it was. Like I'm sure that was probably in their earliest of demos because of their experience with Hitman.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But I don't know if it needs that DNA in
I
it.
I think you've raised an interesting point, and it's not this game specifically. It's kind of games in general. Like, when was the last time um stealth was innovated upon? In games to the point where I feel like we hit the peak on it a long time ago, and they've never moved on from that. In terms of like, it was the peak a long time ago, and I do think you're like at first when you said maybe like two generations ago, I was like that no that sounds harsh. But then when you follow the point through, you kind of go, actually, yeah, like that kind of a thing of you do something and the guard and it makes the guard walk over, and then the guard stays there for as long as you need him to so that you can go
Hmm.
by.
It's an
Um,
Untitled Goose Game.
is something that has been done for a long time, and it works perfectly well. And it's like, well, how else would you do it? And you kind of go, I don't know actually. I don't know how else I would do it, but it does
Yeah.
feel like we've been doing that for a long time now.
Well, I think
I trigger something here, you walk there, I go past.
Batman's approach to stealth is a little bit different because it's a little bit more uh, aggressive leaning, right? Because you're not necessarily stealth just to, I need to get past. You're stealth because you're also taking them out. Like you're an assassin nearly. Like you don't kill them, but you're kind of the equivalent of an assassin. Bond's an assassin, and he's acting more like a thief in this kind of that way of infiltration. Um, yeah, there's just something about it that I think doesn't really suit Bond as much as it does like Hitman. Like I have no problem with it in Hitman. I think it actually suits Hitman quite well. I also don't mind it in Assassin's Creed. It kind of suits that very well. But both of those games are trying to avoid combat. This looks like once combat hits off, you're actually like that's going to be probably the
Yeah,
best parts of it.
yeah, I know what you mean. But only when you have the license to kill. Like Bond also would not go into a public place and just start killing people. You know, that's not his thing when you look at the overall scope
Yeah.
of the Bond adventures. So again, it's how
If
do
he
you
can
get
justify it to himself, he could. He
But
probably would.
it is that thing of like, okay, how do we have gameplay where he has to get into a Met Gala? He's not supposed to be there, and also, no, he can't just go around killing everyone because they're not all bad guys. They're just
Well,
he's
you
just
see,
not
I think
supposed to be there.
I think Uncharted 4 does do that though, doesn't it?
So climbing is the answer. Climbing
No,
through the
not climbing is the answer. But remember when they were trying to break into the auction?
yeah, yeah.
I know that like yes, they're climbing and stuff, but it's actually just done because that's the story. The story is we need to infiltrate and we need to wear our suits so that we look like
So
we're there.
would it be a better idea taking a somewhat Uncharted, but also taking GTA 5, where actually you plan how you want to approach getting in, and then once you take your route, it plays out cinematically like Uncharted 4?
Maybe, but I mean, there is the whole if a spanner is thrown into the works, Bond is able to just quickly adapt to that situation. So that's important too. I think it's really just the pacing of it. I think it just needs to be much quicker. It's like that guy has gone in there and I need to now follow him. And it just felt like this actually took kind of a while. If this was a Bond movie, what would he do?
I think I think there's an
yeah.
element of, though, with the demo, which is them trying to show off the
True.
environment.
This
and
might not
everything.
be how the game
So
actually
therefore,
goes.
so
Yeah.
therefore they're like,
Yeah.
we need to be as slow as possible. And I was thinking the same thing. I was like, that lobby boy, he's well gone. He's well
Yeah.
gone now.
Yeah. But I think it's not like if we're trying, we're wanting to demonstrate this, but I don't know how yous feel, but I feel like I've seen this before, and
Yeah,
this
yeah.
feels like it's going on. I don't know if that's what I want to demonstrate.
Oh well, I mean, and the minute I saw it, I was like, well, that's a Hitman way of getting in.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like if you're the company known for Hitman, why would you be trying to demonstrate, look, we can do another one?
Yeah, it does say a lot that, and again, other people might feel totally differently, and if you do, let us know, you know. But it does say a lot that the most exciting part was the part that looked like something new for them.
Yeah, and it was really, really well executed.
Incredibly right. And again, that is not to in any way diminish the work they've done before or the fact that they are good at that. But it is to say that it's like there is that where it's like, yeah, I've seen this before, but then you go, oh shit, here we go, whoa, 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 like it's explosive and it's kinetic and it's just like action packed, and it's like, yeah, I like remember. I mean, yeah, you get your fair share of slow paced Bond movies too, but for the most part, they're like action thrillers, you know. And he goes in and blows shit up by the end of it all. The base gets blown up. That's what you want to kind of see, you know. So yeah, like that part was just really impressive to the point where it's like, okay, now I'm all because I went into this, and with each part of this that they have shown, you know, like when it was first announced, IO are going to do Project 007, I was like, awesome, I'd love a James Bond game. I don't know if IO is who I would pick to do it personally, but okay, so now I'm unsure about it. Then they show us that first trailer, and I'm like, I'm unsure about this because like I don't like how it looks, but I also like a lot of stuff I'm seeing. And that's the same thing. So now I'm confused about this, you know? And then I watch this and I go, I don't know how I feel about this because it's like I like some stuff and I don't like some other stuff. And so I'm still really mixed on like, do I want this game? This particular game, right?
Mm.
And I'm wondering, how do you guys feel at the moment? Are you like, no, I'm definitely going to get this game. I'm just not, maybe I'm not as high on some bits, or like the
I
highs are much higher than the lows. I'm wondering how you feel about the game so far.
I'll say the same thing I say for pretty much every game when it's a new IP, new thing. I would like a demo.
Yeah, yeah.
Put it into my hands, so then
Well,
I
but what I'm
can
curious,
rant with it.
do
I think
you,
this is pretty as close as you can get to a demo, though.
yeah, like,
Yeah, but at least then in that case we can make it. We can make the infiltration faster.
but what I'm wondering, Eric, is like, do you need a demo because you have played Hitman?
Yeah.
And maybe I'm looking at it all wrong, but like in a way, have you not already played a demo to this game? But now it's like with like Hitman with more action. And
Yeah,
is
so
that
I
not the
want
pitch of this game? You know?
yes, but I think too many times in the past we have seen promising looking games that
Mm.
work well in these very scripted demos,
Yeah, yeah.
and then you get your hands on it, and it's like, what the hell? Watch Dogs looks really bad now. You know what I mean? Like it's
Speaking of,
Watch Dogs or look something looking bad.
yeah,
Which one of those?
so a lot of
Yes.
the current topic at hand. So there's a lot of discussion around, and it is noticeable.
I'm still confused.
The frame rate issues with
Oh, sure, yeah, there was a bit
First
of
Light.
blurriness and stuff
Yep.
as well. Yeah, yeah.
Not well, yeah. The blur was full on, man. Holy fuck!
Yeah.
They could have switched that off because I don't think that's easy on the hardware.
I would imagine you can turn off motion blur in this game.
Yeah, I did see a couple of the comments on YouTube, and someone's like, "Oh, sweet motion blur! Can't wait to turn it off."
Yeah, yeah.
But there was a lot of comments regarding the frame rate. Like people like typing in 007 frames and stuff. It's just interesting because like they, like if this is pre-recorded and if it was live, like okay, fair enough, okay, so there could be issues, but you recorded this and you put it out there. So will they be able to fix it up before it launches? Who knows? Don't know. What do you think? Should we, at this point, be experiencing such performance issues?
You would hope not, right? You would hope not.
I am hearing about that. It depends on and I'm assuming they're not using the Unreal Engine, but maybe they are. But I have heard a lot about the Unreal
No,
Engine.
it's not Unreal. It's not the Unreal Engine.
Yeah, because Unreal Engine 5 apparently I haven't really heard with console, but definitely PC frame rate drops a lot with games. I think.
Yeah,
And
well,
so
Unreal,
doubt-
does look unreal. I can kind of expect it. I imagine a lot of modern hardware actually cannot really push that because like the Unreal Engine does look fucking unbelievable.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think there is enough time to fix it between
yeah.
now and when it releases. But again, this is why I want a demo because it can look they can present it to look all pretty and nice. Everyone can do that unless you're Konami. Then for some reason, every time you showcase a game, it doesn't look that good. Then it comes out and actually isn't that bad. But most games are decorated to look nice. Then we get our hands on it, and we're either like, "Oh, thank fuck!" Especially during the PS4, Xbox One era, it was actually a massive gamble when you were buying a game to either, "Oh yes, this does look exactly like they advertise," or you go, "This is the opposite of what I bought." So that's why I think demos are very important.
Demos
Would
are
you-
important. I think though on the point that is being made by Adam, like the fact that like this isn't someone else's footage of the game, this is actually the developer's
Yes.
footage of the game. Like I do wonder if because they ended it with here's the release date. Like basically this was a push to start pre-orders.
Yeah.
Right? And I wonder, was there a deadline put on them to get something out for that? And like, we don't know that. They're not going to announce that. They're not going to say, by the way, guys, we were forced to put that out now. You know, like that, because that
Mm.
wouldn't be good marketing. So I think closer to the time, if we see more footage and it's still looking like this, I think
Mhm.
that's the time to kind of have the worries that maybe people are having. I do think that it is very possible that just because it's not fully polished right now for this preview, doesn't necessarily mean that this is the game you're pre-ordering right now, you know?
No, but just to answer your question, then it's just that would be something I don't. It's not a game that I'm interested in just because it does. It's not the Bond experience that I was hoping for.
Yeah.
But if I was interested in it, due to things like the performance issues, I wouldn't pre-order it. I would actually wait till the reviews come out.
Yeah.
Unless
I'm
you really, 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 really want that special edition, but
Oh man, that special edition with the golden gun, man, that looks amazing. I was like, I'd get that. I probably wouldn't even play the game. I'd just get that.
I
No, joking.
wonder
Um,
why. Yeah, just quick segue onto that then. I wonder why they're doing that. Is 009 Scaramanga?
maybe I honestly think that there's going to be a lot of Easter eggs and references in this game. I really do.
just confuses the fuck out of me. Like, why would you have so many cinematic references and just not do it?
well, like, because I think that this is going to be treating. Obviously, it's its own continuity. It's not supposed to be a prequel to the movies,
Yeah.
right? Um, and I would imagine they're going to treat all of the movies and the books, anything, almost like the way an Insomniac would treat Spider-Man stuff. And then you pull from it wherever you want to be love letters here and love letters there. And like maybe there will be different takes on characters. Like maybe there will be, not in this game, maybe even in a sequel down the line, maybe we will see a version of Jaws and it's not the same Jaws, it's their own take on Jaws, you know. And it's like you're allowed to do that because this is based on the Bond franchise, but it's not a direct one-to-one,
And
you
we're
know.
gonna get Odd Job, and he's gonna throw a shoe.
Like, you know, maybe. You know, like I wouldn't be surprised if we see characters actually, new takes on characters that are famous
Yeah.
from the Bond franchise in either this game, future games, whatever it's going to be. Like I would not be surprised if there's a Blofeld somewhere, you know, and it's a new Blofeld, but it's Blofeld.
Yeah.
It kind of makes sense that you would, if not teased at the end of this game, almost as an end credit scene that you can almost predict for the sequel that's coming, you know. In terms of whether I'm like in on the game yet, again, like by the end of it, I was like, that's so fucking cool. That looked really fun. I'd like to play that. But then there was other stuff that I'm not too hot on personally. And so at the moment, I'm still, I kind of need to see more. I could still be, I think I could still be won over. I'm not totally like, nah, fuck this. They fucked it. I hate it. You know, it's not definitively exactly what I would dream of, I think, as what a James Bond game looks like. Um, but as we get closer, if we see more and more footage and I go, actually, fuck yeah, that sounds great, or the storyline sounds fucking fantastic or whatever. And in particular, I think reviews could sway me on this one.
Mm.
Like, if this comes out and it's 9 out of 10 across the board, then I'm like, okay, I gotta check this out.
Let's give it a go.
I gotta check, as a lifelong Bond fan, and you're getting a modern video game that's a 9 out of 10 across the board, yeah, I gotta check that out. However, if it comes out and it's like 7 out of 10 across the board, then I'm like, okay, so this is very much your
And if it's
mileage.
8,
Your mileage will vary, you know. Oh, 8 out of 10 is still good. 8 out of 10. 7 is that hard spot though. 7 is always that one where it's like, for
it's
some,
basically shit.
no, it's not that. But it's like for some people, it's like this could be,
The best thing ever.
yeah, and for others, it's terrible. And then it has kind of, ended up in this 7 spot.
What if
you know?
what if it was getting 9 out of 10s from people who, journalists and so on, who normally don't really like Bond, but
Oh, and
this
they all say it.
but this is like, you know,
Bond done right.
yeah, like this one I can get on board with this Bond, because I never really connected with the other Bonds. Like, as in, it's 9 out of 10 from a gameplay standpoint, but they don't give a fuck about like the legacy or anything of that.
I think that would depend on the nature of the review, right? Because obviously you care as well about getting the character right. Like one of the
Yeah,
beautiful things about the Arkham games is it's also clearly a love letter to Batman. And
yeah,
if you love Batman, you will love those games.
yeah.
Um,
That's what I want, man.
but
That's
there's,
what I want to hear.
yeah, to be honest, I've said it a long time ago. Um, Rocksteady is the studio I would have chosen personally,
Hmm.
but also they're in a different leadership now, and I don't think now they would be the person to do it, but certainly after Arkham Knight, I was like, oh man, these guys should do a Bond game. It shouldn't play like an Arkham game, but just their philosophy in building the game around a character, they nailed that, you know. But
Yeah.
in terms of with the reviews thing, I think it will depend on what's said in the reviews because that's very difficult because like the amount of people who are like I fucking hate Harry Potter but Hogwarts Legacy was actually unreal, you know, and you kind of go, you're right, it was like it was very very good whether you like Harry Potter or not. It was just a good game. So you could also get people like I never liked James Bond but I love this game. That doesn't mean it's a bad James Bond game. um but if they then say it's like it fixed all of my problems with James Bond, that's where you go, okay,
Yeah.
okay,
What? Yeah. What does that mean? That?
yeah, what do you mean by that? It's like he doesn't drink vodka martinis, you know.
He's incredibly respectful to women.
Oh no, I'd be okay with that. I'm
Are
not
you
gonna-
are you expecting us somehow into getting like a fucking what are they called a quick time event?
Yeah, I was just gonna say Adam wants one of those God of War like mini games in this, you know.
No, I would expect because I just love that relationship that M has with Brosnan's Bond, and she just like fucking puts him in his place.
Yeah, it's great. Yeah,
You know,
it
it's
is
just
great.
so good, and I would hope for that to happen.
Yeah,
Like that kind of a relationship with the M and Bond in this one.
I do think there will be elements of that. Like again, maybe it's not M so much because from what we've seen so far, she seems to be the one that's kind of in his corner a bit more. She's like,
Yeah.
he's exactly what we need. Where it's the other dude, Greenway. I don't know. I'm not quite sure who he's supposed to be. Maybe he's in the books, but he seems to be the one going like this guy is absolutely reckless. So I feel like he's going to be the one trying to put Bond in his place a little bit. Put some manners on him a little bit, maybe. But. Well, that's just a feeling I get because he seems much older, and you know he's the one in the suit. There's an element of Kingsman here. I think you know the Kingsman movie.
Yeah.
You ever seen that?
Why would you say that, Chris?
I get an element of that. You know,
What are you doing?
he's a chap who needs to become a gentleman by the end of the game. That's the. It's actually
Yeah.
Kingsman the game.
Yeah.
Am I wrong?
Well, not really, because Kingsman is it's James Bond again, isn't it? Like,
Oh yeah, Kingsman is really inspired by James Bond.
yeah.
Well, I suppose partially. I suppose the only difference is that that's a guy reluctant to become gentlemanly and then realizes that in order to fit in or whatever he does it right. Whereas Bond is always trying to pretend that he's something that he's not. Like he came as an orphan and he's always wanting to that's why he's obsessed, I guess, with like luxury and things like that. Like
Yeah.
Were you watching that scene again recently for Casino Royale where Vesper first meets Daniel Craig?
No, but that one scene
That scene
absolutely
is amazing.
Because I watched
perfectly
that scene, I think
characterizes him.
I watched that scene yesterday. It's a fucking brilliant scene.
It's so
It's just
good.
like sums up the entire character. Like if you ever just want to know what, like, I need to understand Bond, it's like, well, there you go. There's that scene. Watch
And the reason we all love that scene is because where Daniel Craig stands.
You can't look. It doesn't matter whether you like Craig or not. Like that's a phenomenal movie. Outside of just Bond universe, that's a phenomenal movie.
Yeah, full stop.
good.
Just-
Full stop. Guys, check out our ranking of the entire Bond. It's still one of my
Guess where
favorite.
that movie goes.
It's still one of my favorite episodes. I loved it. It was so fun.
So funny.
Yeah.
But yeah, I haven't written off this game. I'm very much wait and see. I could still be swayed. I could be swayed either way, I think, at this point. So I'm not a pre-order it person yet. But I'm certainly not a
But that
get it off my screen.
This isn't
you know?
PlayStation exclusive though, or anything, is it?
No,
Well,
I
no,
don't think
no.
so. I think it's just that they got to, in the same way as like Resident Evil have a good relationship with
Yeah.
PlayStation, and so did Hogwarts Legacy. Like some games, just PlayStation get to market it, and it kind of puts it in people's heads that that's where they pre-order it. Then, so
Yeah.
it probably boosts
kind of
PlayStation
like with
sales.
the same way with like Claire Obscure. Like that was mainly advertised at Xbox, but you
That's
could
true,
get
yeah.
it everywhere.
Mm.
Yeah, and boy, did they! Oh my god, Eric, did you say Claire Obscure? Or did you say 2025's Game of the Year? I couldn't hear you right.
Well, it's the same thing, Chris, isn't it?
Yeah. So I suppose before we wrap up, then, was there anything else that people wanted to bring up about First Light so far, or have we kind of touched on everything so far?
Did we mention the music? Because I do like that they're using
Oh yeah,
the
music was great.
movie music. Because
Yeah.
well, not the
If it didn't have that in it, though, would you be like, oh yeah, this is Bond?
well, yeah, they're calling him. I don't want to sound like a prick, but they're calling him James Bond.
I said, would it feel like Bond?
I think
Oh,
I think
deal.
it's I don't know. It's difficult. Too many things have been influenced by Bond that at this point, without the music, it's hard to say what does feel like Bond.
Well, I think you
It's
know,
kind
when
of
you,
like if you show a shark, it doesn't feel like Jaws until you play the Jaws theme. You know.
so if we go through like the Bond movies, we're going to go through them one by one now, right? Starting from the beginning.
This whole
No.
episode is actually a re-ranking of.
But do you know, like obviously we really like License to Kill. We love License to Kill, but I do agree that one of the criticisms of License to Kill for many people who do not like that movie is that it doesn't feel like a Bond movie.
No, it kind of feels like a Die Hard movie.
I've heard it sounds like a straight to TV kind of.
I've heard people say that. I think that's a bit harsh. It's better than that. It's a good movie.
It's a great movie. I mean, just by how it looks.
Yeah.
So it's the color that they chose, the costumes,
It's like a DVD that
way
comes
the
in
way
the
they shot it.
in a sleeve in the newspaper, you know?
Right. And I think we as Daniel Craig stands could say the same about Quantum.
Please stop pushing that narrative. Yeah, I suppose, yeah.
Do you know when you see Quantum, you kind of go, oh yeah, this has lost a touch of the formula and it's trying to be something it's not. It's trying to be a Bourne movie. Hence why when they go back to Skyfall, all of a sudden it feels like you're back home.
Yeah, and everyone goes, hey!
Yeah. So there is something that says this is there is something that
There's
is
a
like
DNA.
this is Bond. This is 100% Bond.
But I think that DNA is when you look at the whole thing and never just one sequence, you know? So,
I don't know. I think you could tell by that opening sequence. I think you can tell from
well,
the very beginning.
I honestly think a big tell of this, right,
Yeah.
will be when you see the gun barrel sequence, when you
Yeah.
play through the opening, and then you get your theme song. If at that point you're like, oh yeah, this feels like Bond, you know what I mean? Then you'll be in for the ride, I think.
Maybe they should have showed that.
Maybe they should have showed that. Who would you like to do the song? And it's got to be a like
Radiohead.
They got to get a good artist. What? They got to get an artist to do this, right? Like a knowable one, or do you think it'll just be
They'll get,
we won't know the artist?
They'll get is his name Vedder or something like that, or
Eddie Vedder?
yeah,
Maybe
yeah.
better.
Hey Bond, you gotta go shoot some people, yeah. That's how the song will go.
That'd be amazing. I think this might be crazy. Maybe it's going to be too early to announce it. Will they announce who's doing the song at the Game Awards?
It's a bit what? Yeah, actually, sorry.
That
That's
seems
fucking
like the
weird that we
place to
don't
do
know it by now. Actually,
Well, I think it would be too early yet. But I think by then to March
you think
is
they have
probably
it written?
not too early. Yeah. Yeah. I'd be really surprised. Like it's
Now-
such a big thing. Unless they're gonna go a lot of the other James Bond games kind of fucking hammed the song in, you know, like not good. And just when we kind of have to have a little something here.
yeah.
Joe, you I'm not trying to be rude, but honestly, they didn't get like big artists. They even didn't do like a full song. They would do just like a minute
Yeah.
and then the name, and it was kind of like a hey, this kind of feels like Bond, right? You know, and it was never like a I'm gonna stream this song, you know. I just think with how far music has come in video games in general, it would not get away with that now. It's going to have to be an actual song,
Yeah.
I think. But I
If
wonder
they do
who
it.
they'd get,
Yeah, if they do it.
They have to do a song. Would it be the end credits instead? I'd be so mad.
Oh, I'd be so fucking annoying.
You can't do that. It's got to have a big opening silhouette piece,
Yeah, no, they'll have to have it at the start. Because if they don't, then it's like, okay, this is
It's
not.
like, was it Skyfall that did that where they didn't do the gun barrel at the beginning? They did it at the end. I was like so fucking pissed off with that.
Yeah, that's right. They had his silhouette walked on screen instead.
Yeah. Fucking God.
That's it. Then is the worst. Yes. So they'll have to do it. It actually wouldn't be a bad idea though to do the song at the Game Awards. Because obviously everyone right now is predicting that it's going to be the artists from Clair Obscur are going to play music at the Game Awards.
Yes.
Or maybe it's going to be your man Woodkid. He's going to do something from Death Stranding 2.
Probably.
Right.
Yeah. Someone is going to do something.
From one of the games that came out this year, because that's the very common thing it is, although they have done things from like Arcane or whatnot as well. That would be so cool to do the reveal of the James Bond song for the game at the Game Awards.
Well, when I think about it,
No one would expect it.
Like it would, like if you think about it, they debuted the theme song for Final Fantasy VII Rebirth live at the Game Awards.
True.
And then Rebirth came out the following, was it March actually? So it was a very
Yeah, I
similar
think so, yeah.
timeline scale. I think we're going to get the song. If we don't get the song, I think we're going to get a reveal of the artist at the Game Awards. Like maybe whoever it's going to be is the one who's also going to give out the award for best music.
Mm.
But I think there's going to be something. But I'm curious, like, and it has
Ariana
to
Grande.
be, well, it has to be within reason as well. It's got to be someone that's like, that's a reasonable suggestion versus like, no, there's not a fucking hope there's a budget for that artist. Like it has to be someone that's like recognizable but not out of reach.
Okay.
I fucking don't know who the hell you could choose.
Honestly, they probably couldn't get the budget for her, but would be cool considering she is making a big comeback. I think she's doing something with cover artists as well. She is, and that would be Amy Lee.
That's not who I thought you were going to say. I thought you were going to say Florence and the Machine.
I think it would all depend
That
on
would
what the
be
story is.
Well, of course, yeah. I mean,
Yeah, so
this
I
is
would be
all
able to
just-
say like
But also, my
Something
dream,
to say.
is I've ever since I heard a certain song, I've always wanted Muse to do a Bond song. I think they are a perfect, like modern day Duran kind of Bond song thing. I think
Sure.
they could do it. Yeah, really curious what will happen there, but I do think we'll know before this year is over who's doing the song, and that'll be exciting to see. But guys, let us know your own thoughts on Bond First Light. Has the preview got you totally sold? Like, are you maybe you're a hardcore Hitman fan, and you're like, this is everything I would have wanted. I was so excited when they were picked. For me, they're the dream team for this game. Are you a little bit reserved about it? Are you totally against it? I don't know how you're feeling. Let us know. And also, like last week, so that was the state of play, but fucking hell, the next day was such a big day for games this year. So if you're playing any of these, let us know. Are you playing Hollow Knight Silksong, which finally came out? That came out before GTA 6. That's wild. So let us know if you're playing Hollow Knight Silksong. Let us know if you jumped into Hell Is Us. Let us know if you jumped into Chronos, The New Dawn. Or let us know if you jumped into the new Indiana Jones DLC, The Order of Giants, which I'm currently playing. And hopefully I'll be able to give a review of that in the near future. But yeah, let us know if you're playing any of those games, and let us know your hype levels for 007 First Light. If you're watching YouTube, jump down in the comments to share your thoughts. If you enjoyed this episode, please give us a thumbs up, hit subscribe, ring the notification bell for future content. And to those who listen to us on audio platforms, you can touch base on social media, Facebook, Instagram, and X at The Brothers Take, again, to give your take on 007 First Light. It was fucking awesome having the three of us back in the room together again. We will see you guys next time. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.